So in my last video, I discussed some issues I was having with Claude. It turns out I'm not alone. Since then, I spoke with many users, I did a lot more research, and I learned quite a bit. So in this video, I'm going to clarify some earlier points, correct myself where I was wrong, provide some perspective, and suggest solutions to mitigate these issues. So first things first, I want to say that I was wrong. I incorrectly stated that Anthropic was throttling pro users to nudge them to sign up for the Max plan. And while this sounds feasible, I've discovered that people on the Max plan have also been having these issues. So if you go down to the comment section, plenty of people gave their comments, their feedback. I thought I was imagining things. You're not alone is super frustrating. The halfway through the conversation cutoffs happen on Max Plan 2, by the way. I have the Max subscription. I'm hitting this limit in the middle of a conversation as well. Same issues, getting frustrating. I switched to Max. I'm still not happy. I'm using Max all day and having to switch 30 chats a day. So it's clear that it's not only pro users. And besides just the YouTube comments, I put a poll up, and as we see, it wasn't a huge polling group. It was 38 votes, but 63% said they had issues and they were using MCP servers. 5% said they were having issues and they weren't using MCP servers. And then we had 13% and 18% saying they're not having issues. So the bottom line is not everyone's experiencing it, but people on both the Pro and the Max plan are experiencing the issues I highlighted in that video. Now, I want to zoom out a bit. I want to talk about the broader perspective because this issue that we're experiencing here isn't unique to Claude. In fact, if you look at Twitter, Reddit, or Medium, or YouTube, you'll see plenty of people saying, wow, X model was good, and then after a certain amount of time, it got bad. We've seen this with ChatGPT, we've seen this with Gemini, we've seen this with Perplexity, we've seen this with Cursor. And even if we look right now, am I nuts or is ChatGPT like worthless lately? And that's 15 hours ago. We have another one from 2 days ago. 4.0 is just plain broken at this point. And then if we look at Gemini, for example, which got even better a week ago, now people are already complaining. 2.5 Pro, the May 6th version, is bad. I believe something changed in the last 8 hours. 2.5 Pro, May 6th, update is garbage. Forgets context, ignores system instructions, misinterprets user instructions. Another good example is Cursor IDE, the coding environment that everyone loves. The one that's worth, I think, 900 million now? I'm not sure. The bottom line, everyone loved it at first. It was great. Everyone was vibe coding with it. And then it was breaking, it was nerfing certain models, it was hallucinating. We weren't sure of the context window. I saw this article by this guy where he actually tests Cursor with the same prompt over a certain amount of time and measures its degradation. It's pretty interesting. And what I like about this one is he did research and logged everything, quantifies it. He actually shows the difference and actually proved his point here. Now, we know that with LLMs, you're never going to get the same response twice. You get a similar response, but you could also get something completely different. Without quantifiable evidence, it's just a lot of talk. But having proven and actual evidence gets us closer to understanding what's going on. The bottom line is there's definitely something happening with all these models and tools. It can be that when they first announced the model, they gave it extra computing power and there was less people using it, but now more people are using it and they're also diverting computing power to a different model or something else they're working on. It can be making changes under the hood, maybe not necessarily the model weights. Maybe it has to do with rate limits. There's so many things that could go on here, but I think we can all agree that model released on day one is different than the same model 1 month, 2 months, 3 months later. My point here is that it's not only Anthropic. All companies and models are dealing with these issues. Okay, so now zooming back in, with all that being said, how do we mitigate or make the best of these issues within Claude? 2 ways I see it, and neither of them are ideal. Number 1 is switch back to Claude 3.5 instead of Claude 3.7, because I found that Claude 3.5 has less issues. Number 2, turn off certain MCP servers. Now, here's the thing. It's hard to even imagine not using MCP servers all the time because they give you so much more functionality with your LLM. But now, for some reason, MCP servers seem to be at least exacerbating, causing some issues. For example, I have a lot of MCP servers. And I think I'm going to make a video on all my MCP servers because they're pretty useful and I'll share with you how I use them all. And Claude recently added the ability to turn on and off MCP servers just by clicking in here, going to the MCP server you want, clicking onto it, just turn it on and off. Let's look at an MCP server with multiple tools. Let's look at 11 Labs, right? 11 Labs has a lot of tools. You don't need all the tools. You just turn them off one at a time. That's a really cool feature, and that's useful right now for this issue because all your MCP servers come with a lot of information that eat up into your context window. And even though this didn't happen 2 weeks ago, it's happening now. So we got to turn off tools, and I found it to solve most of the issues. Now, there's 2 MCP servers that I found to be the main culprit. They're the ones I use the most, and that's a bummer. And that is Desktop Commander and Sequential Thinking. Sequential Thinking is one of my favorite MCP servers. I have it baked into my system prompt. I use it all the time with whatever other MCP server I'm using. But for some reason, it is pushing Claude to hit that rate limit a lot faster. So what can we do about sequential thinking? Well, If you're on Claude 3.7, you have extended thinking, which may be very close to sequential thinking. We don't really see the tool calls, but extended thinking might be a good temporary, if not permanent, solution to sequential thinking. In the last video, I went over my MCP evaluator tool, which I was able to run all the time before. It wouldn't run last week. And when I turned off sequential thinking and turned on extended thinking, I was able to run it. And the response was pretty good. If you're using Desktop Commander or some other MCP server that has a lot of sequential calls that keeps running, that will make you hit your rate limit faster. And it's unfortunate because all of these things worked really well just a few weeks ago. But now it seems that the thing that Anthropic created, MCP servers, is a trigger for these issues. In any case, I'm hoping Anthropic will get to the bottom of this and restore Claude to what it was before. So let me know if you figured anything else out or you have any other insights that I might be missing. If you find this video useful, give it a like. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me grow. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.